What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Schrishzen Thoughts. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to anybody new coming across this channel. Comments and feedback are always welcome. If you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe. I did just hit 50 subscribers. I know one of them was this dude that I met this past weekend. So shout out to you, Jared. And forget the other girl's name that just hopped on board. But I appreciate you for subscribing also. Thank you. You helped me to reach 50. Though technically I'm going to say I'm still at like 47-ish or something like that. I think I have 3 that I don't really count. It is what it is. But, so it's been a while now that I've wanted to just make a video in relation to the gay agenda. The thing that you'll hear generally from people who are super pro-blacks or the religious Christian community, I'll say more so, of how this current society is trying to force homosexuality on you and force an acceptance of homosexuality. So I got what was meant from their perspective because of the fact of something like Netflix, where in just about every Netflix show now, you're seeing gay people in some form. And I had taken it the way that the people that are here to speak about it actually have taken it, to where it is really being like pushed. But in talking with my wife prior, like a while back now, she had made a great point of, it's not that it's being pushed on anybody. They're not asking you to accept anything. They were basically underrepresented in shows, in movies, in anything that you watch, to where the majority of what you would see is heterosexual relationships, heterosexual, I would say, people in the sense. And if there was a homosexual character, you get maybe like one. Meanwhile, look around in life and gay people are everywhere. So why wouldn't they be represented in shows and on TV as just part of the character, like just part of the story? You are a character who you go through the whole time having zero clue about their sexuality. You develop whatever feelings you develop for that character, and then bam, you find out that they're homosexual. So it's like, well, that's how real life is. You're going to meet people that, unless you know them personally, they may be homos, they may be bi. I didn't mean to say homos, but they may be homosexual, they may be bi, whatever. If you don't have a clue about it because you're not with them anywhere, then you don't know. But they're still there, and they still are people within your community and around you. So that's, I think, more so what's misinterpreted as an agenda is I think that's what's going on, is they're not pushing it on anybody. They're just trying to say, hey, this is a part of the society that we live in. People living amongst you are going to be homosexuals, and you're not going to know it. And then once you do find out, you're going to see them not depicted as some super flamboyant, out there, stereotypical homosexual, but a regular person who just happens to like girls, or just happens to be a male and like men, or happens to be one of the other and likes both. And that's just it. So I remember that was part of my ignorance, where I was like, well, yeah, they're kind of pushing it everywhere. You got everybody, or you've got like every show that's coming out, there's someone gay, and it's like, well, then if you look around, that is society. And if to not show that is to misrepresent society and to depict society as, no, these are this rare group that nobody knows about, and we keep them kind of hushed up in a corner, and we don't really talk about them, we don't really show them. But the majority of those people grew up their lives watching TV, where their people like them were not represented. So now people who are growing up and feel that way can look at TV and see themselves in the characters that they see, because they are represented in a way that they were not represented before. may not have articulated this in the best, but I'll leave it at that. So there's not an agenda or anything being pushed on anybody. If you don't care for homosexuality, you don't like it, cool, don't like it. Nobody's forcing you to. But you do have to accept that it is a part of our reality. The world that we live in, at least here in the States, you're going to be in areas with people who are homosexuals, and you will have no clue that they are homosexuals. Why? Because they are just like us. Their sexual preference is different. Other than that, they're just like you. So when you see them on TV, it's not because they're trying to make everybody gay or to try to make everybody like it. It's, hey, these people were underrepresented at some point, so now we're going to depict them in our TV shows now as what they are, which are regular people that just happen to have a different sexual preference. Yes, you might consider it sin. You might say that it's unnatural. Like, cool, that's how you feel. Don't partake. Nobody's asking you to participate. Nobody's asking you to like it. It's more, we're not going to front as if this doesn't exist. To show an entire show with none in it is more unreal than to have a show where there are a couple characters who are homosexual, and that is what it is. They're trying to depict what the world is actually like, especially here in the States. And a lot of shows that you watch are either here in the States or in other countries where it's the same thing. They have homosexuals around. They're part of the world. So to try and, like I said, have a show that portrays it as if this isn't part of the world that we live in, I don't know where you're living then. Coming up with some fake reality that is not ours. But that is all. It's been a while, so I always say that I'm going to try and be more regular, but I am going to try and be more regular with posting. I've been getting into more conversations now with some other people who share different thoughts than I do, so it is prompting me to get out here again and start speaking some more. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good one. Peace. Subscribe. Hop on board if you haven't already. Much appreciated.